Something is hunting in the dark. Battery Park, Manhattan, night. A wide, open waterfront. The kind of place that feels too large, too empty, too quiet. 3 people have stopped here on their way back from a groundbreaking ceremony. Christopher Van der Veer, one of the wealthiest real estate developers in New York, his wife, and his bodyguard. They separate, take a stroll. The park is deserted. There's no reason to worry. But something is already watching them. We see what it sees. The world appears in strange thermal colors, heat signatures shifting against cool darkness. The camera sits just a few feet off the ground, and it moves fast. Between the trees, around the path, circling, calculating. There's more than one of them. The attack is sudden and total. One by one, all 3 of them are gone. No screaming reaches anyone nearby. No alarms go off. By the time the park is empty again, it's as if they were never there. By morning, NYPD Captain Dewey Wilson arrives at the scene by helicopter. Wilson looks like he rolled out of bed 5 minutes ago, which he probably did. He's rumpled, chewing something, already skeptical. He's the kind of detective who'd rather be anywhere else, but keeps showing up because nobody else does it better. His superior, Warren, is there too, along with pressure from the commissioner, the mayor, and the private security firm that handled Van der Veer's protection. Executive security has its theory ready: terrorism. Van der Veer had enemies, powerful enemies, and this was a targeted political hit. Wilson listens politely, then he goes back to the evidence. The wounds don't match any weapon. No tool, no blade, no firearm. And the bodyguard, Max Brown, 300 pounds of muscle with voodoo ties, was taken down just as fast as the others. Something about this doesn't fit. Wilson knows it. He just doesn't know what it fits instead. Warren pairs him with Rebecca Neff, a criminal psychologist who specializes in terrorism. She's professional, earnest, and determined to take the case seriously. Wilson tolerates her. He's not convinced she'll find what he's looking for. Meanwhile, across the river in the South Bronx, a homeless man wanders into an abandoned church on Charlotte Street. The whole neighborhood is a wasteland. Crumbling buildings, broken windows, rubble where people once lived. Van der Veer's company had plans for all of this. Demolition, redevelopment, and new apartment complexes are rising from the wreckage. The homeless man doesn't make it out of the church. Something tears him apart inside. Wilson and Neff arrive at the same church not long after. The investigation is bringing them closer to whatever this is. That's when something shifts. Neff stops. She hears sounds coming from upstairs, a kind of suffering, muffled and strange. She starts climbing toward it. Wilson follows but can't hear anything at all. He's about to pull her back when they separate briefly, and that's when it finds him. A wolf's howl, long and close, rolling through the broken walls of the church. Wilson grabs Neff and drags her out before she can investigate further. She's rattled. He doesn't tell her what he heard. A wolf's howl in the middle of the Bronx does not fit the terrorism theory. It's not something that fits anything. And then a bridge worker is attacked and eliminated by the same unseen force. The body count is climbing. The pattern makes no sense. And Wilson is starting to feel like the answers are somewhere he doesn't want to look. Coroner Whittington runs the lab work with his usual relaxed precision. He's always underestimated, always casual, always right. He finds something unusual buried in the victim's samples. Hair. Non-human hairs. Wilson and Neff take the samples to Ferguson, a zoologist who immediately identifies them as belonging to Canis lupus, wolf. But when Ferguson runs the subspecies comparison across all 40 known varieties, nothing matches. These hairs don't belong to any wolf on record. Ferguson says it almost like a punchline. What are you two trying to pin on the big bad? But then he turns serious. He draws a parallel between wolves and Native Americans. Both evolved in parallel, both built complex social hierarchies, and both depended on tight communities and precise hunting. Both were systematically pushed toward extinction by the same expanding civilization. He says it almost casually. But the comparison lodges in Wilson's mind like a splinter. It gives him somewhere to go. Wilson finds bridge worker Eddie Holt, a Native American activist he arrested some years ago for eliminating a fellow tribesman. Wilson climbs a bridge in order to question him, and Eddie immediately turns the whole conversation into a game. He claims he can shapeshift. He implies that maybe he's responsible for the killings. He watches Wilson's face carefully, measuring every reaction, clearly enjoying the performance. The dialogue is full of careful double meanings, threats that can't be proven, and admissions that aren't really admissions. It feels dangerous and deliberate. Wilson decides not to arrest him. The conversation is circumstantial. And there's something about the way Eddie moves, the way he talks. that makes Wilson think pushing too hard would be a mistake he wouldn't recover from. Instead, he decides to follow him later that night, quietly, on his own terms. That same night, Ferguson chases animal evidence to Central Park. He's following the science, tracking the biological trail, armed with his expertise and a certain scientific confidence that the world will make sense if you gather enough data. He finds something under a tunnel. It finds him first. Ferguson doesn't survive. Wilson is elsewhere when it happens, spending the night with Neff, completely unaware. By the next morning, when he steps out of Neff's apartment building, a man in a jogging suit rides past on a motorcycle. He crashes almost immediately, wobbling and going down on the street. Wilson recognizes the bike. It belongs to Ferguson, stolen from wherever Ferguson ended up. Back at the precinct, Whittington is in a good mood. He makes a joke about self-defense. He's a crack shot, he says. Knows karate, not worried about a thing. It's exactly the kind of thing you say right before everything goes wrong. Wilson and Whittington set up a proper stakeout at the Bronx church. Sniper rifles, sound equipment. They're approaching this systematically now. Whittington nearly blows his own eardrums when he pops open a beer can right next to the microphone. Then something moves in the dark outside. It looks like a wolf. It moves like one. But it's bigger, faster, and it doesn't hesitate the way a frightened animal would. It comes at them with purpose. Whittington is gone. Wilson escapes, barely. And while this is happening, executive security announces they've arrested a German terrorist cell called Götterdämmerung, claiming they're responsible for the Van der Veer murders. Case closed. Politically convenient. Everyone's happy. Except Wilson. He was there. He saw what took Whittington. And it wasn't a German terrorist cell. Traumatized and running on adrenaline, Wilson ends up at the Wigwam bar. It isn't an accident. Somewhere in the back of his mind, he already knows where he needs to go next. Eddie Holt is there. So are several other native men, including an older man who seems to be an elder or leader. They look at Wilson when he walks in like they've been waiting for him. No more games, no more misdirection. They sit him down and explain. The creatures are called Wolfen. They're ancient, intelligent, and extraordinarily capable. They aren't supernatural in the way myths would have it, but they aren't ordinary animals either. Eddie says the Wolfen might be gods, or something close to it. Wilson's instinct is to fight back, to do his job, to stop the killings. Eddie looks at him steadily. You don't have the eyes of the hunter, you have the eyes of the dead. The older man, the group's leader, fills in the rest. The Wolfen protect their territory, they always have. They prey on the weak and the isolated. The people who fall through the cracks of the city, the homeless, the forgotten, the ones nobody reports missing. It's not cruelty, it's ecology. But when Van der Veer's development project threatened to demolish the South Bronx and destroy their hunting ground, the Wolfen escalated. They didn't attack randomly. They went after the man with the power to take their territory. They understood what he represented, and they eliminated him first. Wilson sits with this. Then he makes a decision. Walk away. Let Götterdämmerung take the blame. Let the city move on. Stop pulling on this thread. The Wolfen don't give him that option. In an alleyway, the pack corners Wilson, Neff, and Warren. They come from every direction, moving in perfect coordination, filling the shadows around them before anyone can react. Warren panics. He breaks away and runs for his car. A Wolfen catches him in seconds, a severed hand, then worse. Warren's car rocks violently and goes still. Wilson and Neff run. They reach the car, ignite it with a pack member inside, and use the explosion to buy themselves seconds. It's not a victory. It's a delay. They end up in Van der Veer's penthouse. It's empty, opulent, still full of the dead man's belongings, and the pack follows them in. The alpha steps forward, white fur, immense, completely calm in a way that's more frightening than any aggression would be. It watches Wilson, and Wilson looks back, and something changes in that moment. He's starting to see clearly. For the first time since the case began, he understands what he's actually looking at. There's a scale model of Van der Veer's construction project on a table in the penthouse. The grand plan for the South Bronx, the development that would have demolished the Wolfen's territory, block by block. Wilson walks toward it slowly. The alpha doesn't move. Wilson picks it up and smashes it. The model breaks apart across the floor. He looks at the alpha. The message is clear. The threat is gone. He's not an enemy. Neither is Neff. They're not here to fight. The pack holds still. a long, weighted silence. Then, just as police sirens fill the street below and officers burst through the door, the Wolfen vanishes completely as they arrived. Wilson tells the police it was terrorists. Götterdämmerung takes the blame. The Van der Veer case is officially closed. Everyone gets a story they can live with. Wilson's voice is the last thing we hear. He explains what he now knows. The Wolfen have always been here. They've been hunting on the margins of the city since before it existed. They take the weak, the isolated, the invisible, the same people who disappear in plain sight every day, without anyone asking where they went. The Wolfen prey on the vulnerable, he says. The same way powerful systems do. The same patterns are repeated at every level of human society. They stay invisible not because they're supernatural, but because they're indistinguishable from the violence that's already everywhere. They're just higher on the food chain than we are, always have been, always will be. The city moves on. The Wolfen stay. So, what exactly are the Wolfen? The film is deliberately ambiguous about this. They're not werewolves. They don't transform. They're not spirit animals in the mystical sense. The movie presents a species of hyper-intelligent wolves that evolved alongside humanity, developing pack intelligence and survival strategies sophisticated enough to remain completely hidden in urban environments. The ultimate apex predators operating in the blind spots of civilization. Their hunting strategy is calculated. They target the homeless, the isolated, the forgotten, because vulnerable people don't attract attention when they disappear. It's the same logic that lets systemic violence go unnoticed in plain sight. Wilson's closing monologue makes this parallel explicit. The Wolfen hunt the way economic systems exploit. The same prey, the same invisibility, just a different predator. The film's Native American angle carries most of its thematic weight. Wolves and Native Americans evolved together, and were both systematically destroyed by European expansion. Director Michael Wadley was very deliberate about these themes. He drew on environmentalist thinking he'd been developing for decades. He saw the Wolfen as an avatar for nature's counter-pressure against unchecked human expansion. One technical element worth noting, cinematographer Garrett Brown, who invented the Steadicam, uses it here to embody the Wolfen themselves. It predates the similar technique used in Predator by about 6 years, and it still holds up. If you enjoyed this recap, please consider liking and subscribing. New recaps drop regularly. Thanks for watching.